close out the performances, and talking about sacred time. And I think this is a really important way to end, and that was why I asked him to go last. The sanctuaries, we talk a lot. There are a lot of people in here. We believe in collaborative leadership, right? So there are a lot of people in here that have made things happen in the sanctuaries. It's not just led by Rev, or it's not just led by any one person. And like David, for example, had this idea for this thing, and it's become the Soul Slam, right? So, and that's one of the beautiful things about our community. And we've been asked a few times to like quantify that. Like, what does sanctuaries have that no one else has? And it's like this like secret sauce. Like, we can't really describe it. I don't know how to describe it. But it's very much sacred. It's very much a sanctuary to me, and I think to a lot of us here. So I think this is going to be a great way to close this out. So thank you, Jonah. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. How are y'all? Wow, this has been pretty great.
All right.
Thanks to Aaron, our awesome host.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks to Jeff. Thanks to David.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of y'all.
Yeah.
Right on. Alright, we're going. It's all good. We're just gonna. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Hello back there. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Great. This poem is about time. When I unfolded from the earth, time plucked me from the ground like a flower, and all my petals ended in, "He loves me." I felt very lucky about that. When I turned into an event, time swept me up in its arms and started whispering jokes about forever into my ears. Time said, "Stop selling yourself short like that. Don't you know you're bigger than the past? Don't you know you're more than the story you tell yourself about yourself?" The thing about time is, I'm never sure whether his questions are rhetorical or not. Time's the kind of guy to make you feel dumb for trying to respond. Time's the kind of guy to make you feel like a puppet without its strings. Time's the kind of guy to make you feel like a landscape painting that you can only see a part of. Time, if I am the paint, are you the canvas? And if so, who or what is the frame? Time's the kind of guy to tell funny stories that don't make sense in hindsight. When this collection of atoms started vibrating in a strong enough way to become my body, time was the one doing the plucking. Time is a very patient musician. Time is like a stand-up philosopher. Time says funny things like, "The tail does not wag the dog. The wake does not drive the ship." Time's specialty is making obvious truths sound like wise aphorisms. When you look at Time's notebook in math class, Time's the kind of guy to have shit written down like, "Causality does not exist." The notion of cause and effect is dependent on the faulty belief that there are distinct events with definable beginnings and endings. Time's the kind of guy that sometimes you just want to be like, "Whoa, man, slow down." One time, Time smoked me up and spent an hour trying to convince me that everything around us is leaving really slow jet streams. Time, do you ever feel like you're the one who has it backwards? Do you ever feel like you're not the one that's fleeting? When the world started looking at itself through my eyes, Time was the only one who was brave enough to ask me, "What does that really mean anyway?" Time's the kind of guy to not hesitate to call you out. Time will use your own question marks against you like vicious ice picks. Who are you? What are you afraid of? Why do you keep on making yourself out to be this distinct event with definable beginnings and endings? Time's the kind of guy to know shit about shit you didn't think it would know about. Time is very much into the idea of pattern. Even with all the moments in the world in my back pocket, time is the kind of guy who will never, ever stop and stare. Time's the kind of guy to make jokes with me about going on forever. When the music of these atoms stop, time is the silence my body will fall back into. Time's the kind of guy that will pluck petals from the flowers growing atop my grave and tell me he loves me. Thanks, y'all.